Let's get a function group and a function module. Let the function group go to T code SE80. From this drop down, select function group, give the function group name, press enter, click yes to create the object, give the name function group for 2FA, two-factor authentication, save in a package and in a request to transfer to the quality and production system. Now when you create the function module, function group, so automatically two includes will be created. First right click at the top level and activate at the function group level. Now as a main requirement for splitting function group, as we need to create a function module to consume the web services, and to consume the web service I am going to make use of this class, that is CL_HTTP_client, and I will be using the method create by URL. I am going to make use of this method of this class CL_HTTP_client. So for that, first the top include, we will do some data declaration. So go to top include first to add the data declaration. Click on change mode. Here data, first we'll require the HTTP client, HTTP underscore client, that is type reference to one interface of that class, that is IF underscore HTTP underscore client. Second, we'll generate a URL to consume the web service, to trigger the web service. So my second parameter will be, take example gv underscore URL, that is type I will take as a string. And third, as a result of the web service, I will be taking one variable as gv underscore result of, again type as a string. Declare all three variables in the global area, and while testing the Postman tool, we have seen like in the header we need to pass the key and the value for that key, and this key value we can get from this endpoint when we execute. So here we can see the XRP API key, and to copy this key, what we can do, once we click on test point, go to paid snips, and from here we can copy this key. So I'm copying this key, and as this will be fixed throughout all the API, so I'm going to declare this as the constant, and I'm giving name as constant underscore API key of type string, and my value will be here, which I'll copy from the URL. Because for all three API, this key is going to be constant. So we have created a top include, and we have declared three variables along with one constant API key, and the value we have passed here from the API. Now save and activate. No error. Our next task is to create a function module. Right click at the function group level, click on create function module. With the function module name Z2FA underscore web services. Okay, just give this name. With the function group same as 2FA Alex web service for 2FA. Click on save button. So first I'm going to consume the first API. Let's make this as the RFC enable function module. click on save button. So for first API will be this one, that is generating a secret key. So this is our endpoint, and along with the endpoint in the authorization, we just need to pass those key. So for this, what we'll do, in our function model, go to source code tab. As we have our variable GUI underscore URL, pass the first endpoint as it is into the URL. Okay, this is our first endpoint. So we have assigned this URL first. Second, we need to call the method create by URL or the HTTP client. For that, call method into the class name as CL underscore HTTP underscore client, and call the starting method, that is create by URL. Control plus space, hover, and then press Control Shift and Tab. Okay, so we'll enter only required parameters. Very first steps, open all the exceptions. In the URL, we need to give our URL which we are passing here. So for that, I will write here GUI underscore URL, and then in the importing here from the global variable, as we have defined HTTP underscore client, pass that here, save, check, activate, no error as of now. Now second step here is we need to pass the API key. For passing the API key, here we just give some note API key add to header. So for that, we need to add the header. Again, call method, this time use this HTTP client request, and inside the request we'll set the header value as set underscore header underscore field. Use field, not fields. Press the cursor here, Control plus space, over, and then Control Shift and Tab. So here in the name we have to pass the x-rapid API key, the value which we have passed here. Copy from here as it is, and pass in the name. In the value, we need to pass the API key which we have already set as a constant field in the global top include. So for that, we'll just add C, that is constant underscore API key. So we have set our header value here. The next, we need to send this request. So for that, call method, again HTTP client, and the method which we want to trigger is send, Control space. Okay, always open all the exceptions. Next is to receive the response. As we have seen, when we execute this in the output, we can see the secret key. Okay, so this secret key we need to get back from the web service. So for that, we have to call second method, that is the receive. After sending, then call method, again HTTP client, and this time we will use receive, the first one. Here also open all the exceptions. Okay, now what we'll do, if size of sub is equal to 0, we need to read the results. from the response. Okay, so we write if psi sub RC equals to 0, sorry, if psi sub RC equal to 0, we need to read the response. So before that, in the exporting parameter, add one field where we pass the response EP underscore message. I'm taking as type string. Go back to source code. Now what we'll do here, we write clear gv underscore result, as well as we'll write EP underscore message. So first we'll read the response that in the gv underscore result equal to HTTP client response get underscore C data get underscore C data packet close condense gv underscore result, and finally pass this gv underscore result value to the output, that is EP underscore message equal to gv underscore result. Save, check for any errors, no error as of now, and activate. Okay, now let's test our first web service whether we are able to get the secret key or not. So there is no importing parameters, so I will just execute this. You can see no exporting parameters are here. So what we can do, just put a breakpoint here. Okay, so we'll set a breakpoint here as the HTTP method, send method. Okay, let's add the resume method. Put a breakpoint here and again executes. We'll check what error message coming. Now here size of equal to 0. We can do debugging step by step, but as I already know the error will be here. So as soon as if we press execute here, we can see size of RC equal to 1. HTTP communication failed. Okay, so how to solve this error? So as you can see, this is a HTTPS service. Okay, for this we need to add the certificate into the STRUST code. So how to add a certificate for this particular URL? Copy this URL, open our browser, new session, enter the URL here, press enter, click on this view site information, go to site setting, so you come back, go to connection is secure, click here, certificate is valid, click on this certificate, go to certification part, go to details and click on copy to file. We are adding the certificate into SAP system for this particular URL. Click on next, click on base64 encoded, click next, give the path here where we want to store that certificate. So here I will give the name as Rapid API 1, as I already store certificate, so I'm giving the name as 1, and save the certificate. Okay, it's exported. Just check whether the certificate is added or not. Here you can see this is my old one and this is the new one. Okay, now we need to add the certificate into SAP system. To add the certificate, go to T code STRUST. Go to this T code STRUST. Here we need to add a certificate into the SSL client. In both the client we need to add. For that, first go to change mode, double click here, come down, click on import certificate, select the certificate which we have stored, that is Rapid API 1. certificate is imported. Check. You no need to check. Just add to certificate list. You can see it is added certificate list. Click on save button. This we need to do in the each client. Double click on the second one. Here also do the same activity. Click on import certificate. Same certificate we need to install here. Click on add to certificate list. So at the bottom we can see the certificate is added. Click on save button. Okay, so now we have added the certificate into the system. Again, go back to our function module. Go back to function module. Then we'll put a breakpoint. Okay, the breakpoint is already set. Just execute. For the first URL, we don't have any importing parameter. Desktop 3. Press F6. See, this time the size of RC equal to 0. So once we install the certificate, you will not get this error. Press F6. Check the result. Here we can see the new secret ID is generated. Effect. So here we can see in the output our secret ID is generated. So this way we are done with the first web service consume, that is to generate the secret key. So this is working successfully. Now we need to do the modification in the function module so that we can also execute the second URL from this function module. So now we'll do all the code modification so that along with the secret key we can also consume the second web service.